At Oxford, in the first week of a course on legal and political theories of property, we began by examining the ancient Roman law on the topic. And I should apologise to this year's cohort of scholars that it might be detecting a theme and thinking that you have arrived in ancient Rome after today's lectures, but I can reassure you we are in Sydney, but we'll be hearing about Oxford for a moment. So we're in the first week reading Roman law. And I think our teachers had two purposes for opening the course in that way. The first, perhaps, was to weed out the students that weren't really that interested in property law, and I think it was quite successful on that front. But more nobly, I think they also sought to illustrate the essential concepts of any system of law by abstracting from our immediate context to a very different time and place, a detour. We read extracts of two textbooks. One was authored by a group of professors commissioned by the Emperor Justinian in the 6th century and repopularised in the early 13th century in Bologna. In the world of law textbooks, of course, popularity is somewhat of a relative concept. Until the 19th century, it was thought remarkable that the academics Justinian assembled could put together such a comprehensive text in just 3 months, as the records suggested. Then, in 1816, Barthold Niebuhr, a Danish banker, statesman and scholar, was commissioned as the Prussian ambassador to the Holy See. On his way to Rome, he stopped in Verona to take a short historical detour, much like us now, really. Like us, he does get to the destination eventually. Techniques had been developed to uncover the remnant text hidden in palimpsests, and Niebuhr visited one of the oldest libraries in the world, the Biblioteca Capitolare in Verona, to see what he could find. The word palimpsest, and here's some more etymology for the scholars, derives from Greek words roughly meaning again rubbed smooth. Because vellum parchment made from animal skins was a scarce but durable material, it was not uncommon for it to be scraped clean and written over. This is what had happened to the remaining copy of another Roman textbook, the Institutes of Gaius, another Roman professor, this time from the 2nd century. The traces of his textbook for first-year law students in Rome had been preserved under some epistles of St. Jerome's. The answer to Justinian's rapid 3-month textbook writing exercise? It turns out that his scholars had pilfered most of their work from that of Gaius much earlier. That revealed something important about the nature and evolution of Roman law and society. Now, Niebuhr may not have fully realised the importance that would later be attributed to Gaius's textbook. I like to think he was driven mostly by something as simple as natural curiosity. But through his little act of scholarship, he added to the knowledge of the modern world. What lesson can we take from this excursion? It says something about the history, and therefore, I think, the future of ideas. One thing it says is about scarcity. The expense of vellum parchment meant that you had to make choices about which ideas to keep and which to discard. In our literate, digitised world, it would be nice to think we have solved that problem. But scarce capacity for holding ideas is no merely historical challenge. An idea in a book is good, especially if it's catalogued by a librarian or a database to find it. But a book that is not read is not knowledge, and a book cannot itself know anything. Knowledge is a living thing in the minds of humans. So perhaps the scarce vellum parchment of the past is the limited public consciousness of today. Shrinking attention spans or not, history tells us that individuals and societies have always been able to forget or ignore fundamental principles at grave cost. And that's what I have in mind when I think about deepening and sharing an understanding of our civilization. It's crucial that the fundamental ideas that have cultivated our society, basic moral rights, the scientific method, the rule of law, are not scraped clean from the public's minds and written over by merely passing concerns. Now, you have been chosen as the next cohort of Ramsay scholars. It is a decision made carefully on various criteria, but having met and known many of you and your predecessors, I theorise that it can be reduced to 2 fundamental questions. First, that you have the capacity to do great things, and second, that the values you have revealed show a tendency to do good things. A scholarship is a serious gift, an entrustment. There is no prescribed path for you to take or outcome for you to achieve. Rather, we have been entrusted and trusted to apply ourselves in our fields, take notice of the world around us, and follow our judgment to seek truth and understanding. Now you set out on your own detours from ordinary life to seclusion or interaction in the remarkable places you will soon reach. You will find, if my experience is any guide, that time spent reflecting and absorbing your studies and the world around you will reshape your ways of thinking and your sense of what is truly important. Make the most of your time as a student, both in the classrooms and libraries and outside them. Take advantage of all that this incredible legacy has to offer. And then, with your time, through your own little acts of scholarship, I encourage you to share it.